Alrighty, folks. Well, welcome back to another episode of Fighting Words. Just two dads talking about the UFC, and we're recapping the unfortunate UFC 308 card. And I'm here with my co-host Tyrell Payton. What's going on, man? He's
You know
here,
what?
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm here, but you know what's going on, man. I'm not happy. I forgot your name. I'll look it up. Nah, I ain't looking up.
No.
Whatever. You told me Max was going to lose, and I had to eat crow, bro. And I responded to you and said you were right. I didn't really want to say that, but I had to say it because you were right. But yeah, man, let's get into this. I was about to
Yeah.
curse. Let's get into this, man.
So we had a
I'm not in
commenter
good
on
spirits.
a previous video say Max is going to lose, and then if for all the viewers that watched in the previous episode, Tyrell even said I wouldn't be showing my face on the podcast if this happened. And thankfully, as his co-host, I'm glad he's here. But if you want to, get more engaged in the community, leave a comment. Did you guys predict what was going to happen this weekend? I would just love to hear your guys' comments, your guys' feedback. Obviously, if you like the
Don't
show,
talk to me.
yeah, don't talk to me. You could send those requests my way. As a person who has dealt with loss repeatedly in my career, yeah. I will say this though: give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're trying some new things out on the content this week, so we'll love to get you guys' feedback on it. But thank you for all the new people joining. Today, we just kind of want to unpack the main event of UFC 308. In another video, we'll talk about the other fights on the card. So tonight, I just want to kind of unpack the main event, what happened. I know you and I both have a lot of thoughts. Obviously, some are sadness, some are like, man, I can't believe this is happening. But also, like, I don't know, not to set the stage too much for what I kind of want to talk about, but we're seeing sort of the baton pass happen in MMA right now, which is always a very weird time when we have the stars that we've known for years that we love. Maybe not necessarily right off into the sunset, but it's no longer in their primes anymore. So obviously, with Max being knocked out for the first time in his career, for his first knockdown of his career, all that
Yeah, say
happened
it
in one
again.
single fight. Hey, man, for the amount of times you give me a hard time with Volk, I mean, well, I'm allowed to say it. All right, let's be sensitive, Susan over here. So I guess to start it off, like for me, how I walked away from that fight was two things. Holy cow, I I didn't realize we were in such a change for the UFC, like in terms of like the generational guards that we have. Like Volk, his reign is done. Max's reign, at least at 45, is done. And we have all these new challengers coming up with Diego Lopez, with Movsari Volov. I wouldn't even call Aljo, like I wouldn't even put him in consideration of like potential guard keepers if he wins the belt at that weight. Like that'll be a very big surprise to me. But like you're starting to see this with other divisions too. We have Alex that's kind of taken over with light heavyweight, which kind of had a vacant hole in it. But middleweight we see DDP, and then obviously we'll talk later about Khamzat Chimaev. But we're seeing this sort of rotation come out of the guys that were the mainstays in their division for a while, and it's kind of done. And then the other part is, I don't even think this is a controversial take. Ilia Topuria is Fighter of the Year. He just took out two of the best featherweights of all time in 1 year, and didn't just do it by pointing decision. He did it by emphatic knockout for both of them. And like you take a step back from that, and you're like, who else is gonna beat him? Like who else can do that? Mind you, this guy was a grappler
Yeah.
before he came to the UFC. His striking got figured out during his time at the UFC. It's not like this guy was like, oh, yeah, he knocks people out. It's like, no, this guy submits people. He knows how to wrestle well. Nope. This guy is a fantastic striker, and he is the most complete fighter I've seen in a long time. And it's taken me a bit, I think, to warm up to him because I want to, believe that the current generation that we love and support and cheer for is the best. But like now, I mean, after that, I mean, it's hard not to respect how humble he was in his victory with Max, but not only with Max, with Volk, with the call out with that, and yeah, I just think that we're witnessing something special, but it doesn't. It comes at the cost of watching some of our favorite fighters start to transition out of the prime time.
Yeah. I feel like I slightly disagree. I feel
Okay.
like I feel like we're not seeing a full change of the guard because I think Volk and Max and Izzy and these guys can still beat most of the people in the division. I think the new champions are just transcendent, and we're seeing a new legend enter into the realm of legends of these divisions. Like we're seeing that new person finally take them down, and that's what happens, right? I think that's what we're seeing. These guys that are just stepping in and like remember Izzy, he ran his for a while. So did Usman. Did somebody finally beat him? But Leon may not be a legend. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that guy.
Yeah,
But
we'll
we'll
think about
see. We'll see. I don't know about that. But I think Ilia Topuria is just a very gifted fighter. And although I'm super sad about Max losing because he's one of my favorite fighters ever, it's okay because this guy's not he's not an a-hole. And he was very gracious. He even said like he had a hard time finding something to hate about Max Holloway going into this fight. He loves Max. He's like, so it's hard to kind of get in this place to be able to fight him. Um, so I just love that he's a gracious fighter. He showed that he's a fan of Volk and Max and other guys. He watched them growing up, and he just seems like a good fit for a champion in the UFC. He's going to fight. He talks trash and he says he won't fight certain people, but he's going to fight them. And I just look forward to seeing what that looks like for him. I know Volk's going to rematch him, and I just think that's a bad match for Volk. I saw a DP say that. Who else said this? No, it was Chael's son, and Chael's like, Volk should not want to fight him again. He should not want to get back in there again with him because if he did that to Max Holloway, his confidence is only growing. If he did that to Max, he's going to for sure try to hit Volk. He'll probably come out even more aggressive against Volk because I doubt he fears Volk's power to get knocked out back. So, scary rematch for Volk. Don't think he should do it, but hey, he's been a champion, so I bet you he wants to try to get that strap back. But maybe he's also like we talked about before the pod, thinking it's probably the end after this if I lose, so I might as well go ahead and try again and see if I can reclaim it. But I will say this: the person I think that can beat him in that division is Aljamain Sterling. I do.
think so.
I do.
Think,
I think that I don't think that Diego can, and then beyond that, everyone else can't. So I think that the only hope in the division right now is Aljamain. And I don't want to say hope. I kind of want Ilia to kind of dominate it. Now he beat Max and Volk. I'd rather that. But I think the person that gives the best chance is Aljamain. Um, but we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But Max Holloway, let's go ahead and move to 55, guy. You've
yeah,
done a lot in the 45 division. You're a legend. I think it's time for you to try some new challengers and also I think bigger names in 55 with the opportunity to get a championship fight within maybe a fight, if that. So it's like you're still in there. So just go to 55, man.
well, I think that my biggest criticism, if there is one of Max right now, is and this might even sound like a controversial take, and I don't think he did anything necessarily wrong with this, but I think that Max could have not done this fight at 145. I think he could have skipped the line at 155 and just fought for the belt there. And I think he would have made much more money out of it too. Not no disrespect to Ilya. Ilya has made his way and he's making his path. Like that's awesome. Like there's no disrespect to what Max has done, but I do think that there's an interesting thing to be said about like could have Max have capitalized even on even more. But now that this loss 145 is there is existent, I think the only thing is for him is to move up to 155. Though I think that
Yeah.
I just don't see any other option for him. I just
No.
don't. Yeah.
But he wanted that 45 strap back. That's his baby. That's where
Yeah.
he's been a champion. And, it's, he really thought he was going to win that fight. And honestly, watching the fight, I felt pretty good watching him. Like, he's doing good. I felt like Ilya was dangerous the whole time. I texted you. I'm like, this is a good fight, but Ilya's dangerous. And then he knocked him out like maybe a minute or two after that. And it's like he just felt so like the aura in the octagon for me watching was just like
Yeah.
same thing happened when Izzy fought DDP for me. I'm like, woof, everything's making me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like he's that close. And he's felt so close the whole fight, like he's gonna land something that's gonna hurt. And Ilya did, man. So shout out to him, man. And I hope you have a long reign as champion. You're excited, and I would love to see you fight Islam Makhachev
I would too. I throw money at that, and I know a lot of
and
people would
Dustin
say
Poirier.
Islam. Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead sleep DDP. Go ahead sleep DP for me. Make me feel a little better.
it's disrespectful. You don't got to do that. You don't got to say that. You don't got to put that onto the.
We're probably going to. I think Max and DP love each other too much to fight again. Even though they
Yeah.
said they would, I think that's a bad matchup for both of them. I think Dustin shouldn't fight him because the way he responded to Max getting knocked out tells me he likes him too much. And I'm like, don't go in there like Justin Gaethje and not have the ability to like lock in again. I think they got closer over the years. I'm like, don't do it.
No,
Don't do it.
I would be surprised if they fought again. I wouldn't put too much money on that. I think that you'd probably see a Charles Oliveira Max rematch versus an actual fight with Dustin Poirier and
And
Max.
guess what? And guess what? Max can't beat Charles, bro. He can't beat Charles. I don't care. Max, you my dog. You're not beating Charles. Not at 55. Say 45. This is 55. You will not beat Charles Oliveira at 55. Michael Chandler's about to find out what that's like too. Like,
Again.
bro. Again. It's gonna be worse this time. He'll probably choke him out this time. Like, bro, Herman Sarukian is a monster, and it's debatable if he beat Charles in that fight. If it was 5-round fight, I don't know if he beats Charles. I think he went out too. Not to get off sidetrack. I think he went to sleep.
This man is in shambles. He has to talk about Charles Oliveira and
well, you said he was gonna fight Max, and I'm like, hey man, he can't fight. Max can't fight him. Like Max, do not fight him. Do not fight Charles Oliveira.
That would not be a good matchup for him.
It's not good for my heart. It's not good for my heart to watch them fight each other. Like fight whoever you want besides him, and we're good, man. Gosh.
Well, I think that regardless, I think Max's future is still bright, even though there is kind of this shift that's happening right now currently in MMA. It's tough to see exactly what all is going to transpire. I do agree with you that he should go to 155, and he has some exciting fights up there. And I think he can pretty much go to toe-to-toe with anybody and make it exciting, even if he doesn't get the win. So there's still a chance of gold for him. It might be slimmed down after this weekend. And I also second that, yeah, Ilia, I hope he's a long reigning champion because he's fun, man. Like,
he is like that.
Yeah. I mean, one more fight like that and he's pound for pound number one. Sorry, John. Sorry, Islam. But yeah. Anyways, if you guys want to give us I was gonna say focused out. There we are. If you guys agree with us, what do you guys think? If you watch the end of the video, let us know your thoughts on the Max Ilia result. Yeah, a little somberness here for the pod, but it is what it is. And if you've gotten this far, we appreciate you guys. You leave us a comment, like, and subscribe as always, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.